Let's get this party started. My God. Well, look at that score. It doesn't even look real.
It doesn't. Is it real?
It is real. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Winners Lounge. Get you some energy going here on a Tuesday night. Nuggets dominated the Minnesota Timberwolves. That was as dominant. I think it's tied for most dominant Nuggets game of the season. That Clippers win was kind of equally as dominant.
Yeah, this thing was over quickly.
It was over. First quarter, in fact, it was over quickly. We're going to go through it. I actually think, despite the fact that this was a blowout game and that the final outcome was not in doubt, I actually think there's a lot of talking points from this one.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. You had the Gobert gimmick defense. They tried that Embiid Tucker, let's put Gobert off him. You got that to go over. You got the Porter situation. Woo-hoo. You got the no bones again. You get Ish Smith. We got that to talk about. And all kinds of great stuff. Just great stuff. And luckily for me, I got the fellas with me. I got D-line.
Holy smokes. Not going to lie, still pretty salty. They didn't get 50 in the first quarter. Jeff Green took that charge at the end of the first quarter. I've not gotten over it. Literally stopped watching the game after that.
It's so true. Like, what was it? It was the Warriors that put up, it was 50 even, right? I think they had 50 points in that one game, and it felt like the biggest, arsenal I've ever seen in my life.
It was the most demoralizing thing. I've not recovered since. I wanted the
Denver
retribution.
almost had a better one than that if it was just not for that one charge. I've also got Superstar Dev with me.
I mean, every single thing about that was easy. It was easy on the eyes.
Oh,
it was easy on the court. Everything seemed to go well.
Easy on the eyes implies that somebody was very attractive, right?
I've never been more attracted to Nikola Jokic than I was tonight, and Michael Porter Jr.
That's true, to Michael Porter. We're presented as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. We used promo code DNVR when we signed up. How did we do, Dev, tonight?
We did well. We did very well. I gave out the lock for Jokic to get a triple-double.
My God.
It was record-setting.
Honest, we'll talk about it here in a bit, but I'm going to ask the question of, how many triple-doubles will Jokic get from here on out? Because I think he's now got 10 in his last 12, and I just feel like it's the default setting. He just gets it. There's nothing you can do about it. He's going to get 10 assists. I have a feeling he's going to get 25 out of the last 30 games. Let's do a fast recap, and I'm going to tell you guys, this is going to be the fastest fast recap we've ever done.
Well, I'll believe it when I hear it.
All right. To start the game, they put Naz Reid on Jokic and Gobert on AG. That was the first thing. I suspected that this was going to happen. This is why I predicted Aaron Gordon would make 2 3-pointers in this game, which he did. Is because teams are going to start trying when they have that opportunity to go to that 2 big lineup. Denver did okay with it, but it didn't matter. They smacked the hell out of him in every other aspect. Bruce Brown rolled an ankle early on. One of the stories of this game is that Ish Smith actually ran a lot with the starters.
He did. And
it worked really, really well tonight. And then Porter early on in the front. It's funny when you go back and read your notes, not knowing what's about to happen. I put on here Porter back-to-back threes. Porter quarter question mark? Absolutely. He hits 2 threes and you just know.
Dude, it's going to be a Michael month. We're done with Porter quarters.
We're down to a Michael month, man. I love it. I have in my notes here a 15-2 run, and then immediately after that, 32-2 run. That was an unbelievable run. One of the best I've ever seen from the Denver Nuggets. If not, honest to God, that 32-2 run in the first quarter might have been the most dominant 6 minutes we've ever seen from the Denver Nuggets.
It was hilarious.
It really was hilarious, the amount. I mean, I'd have to make a list of the most dominant stretches in Nuggets history, but that one was right up there. 16 assists in the first quarter, and what was the score at the end of the first quarter? 49-19.
49. I can't get over it. I won't sleep tonight.
Second quarter, Nuggets 4 quick fouls. Bench unit actually did not look good. 2.5 minutes in, and they have 4 fouls. So their team in the Wolves in the bonus. Bench got outscored in that stretch. Then Jokic comes back in and immediately pushes the lead. It got down to, I think, 19, which is still a lot. It's a lot, but it kind of felt like...
man, game's not over, fellas.
It's not over. And then Jokic's like, yeah, it is, guys. Come on. He got a triple-double in that second quarter. Yes, the second quarter. And the Nuggets going into the half had 25 assists. Dev, 25 assists is good for a game, for a team. They had that
for a whole game.
First half. 79-48 Nuggets. Third quarter. Another Porter quarter. Another one. He had it going. He was in his bag. You knew he wanted the ball. He had a pep in his step, a twinkle in his eye. Jokic gets up to 16 assists. So in the third quarter, Porter just scores more. Jokic assists more. What more do you want, guys? And then the Nuggets get up to 40 assists, and then they finish the game with 44 assists, an NBA single game high. Hilariously enough, the previous season high set yesterday. It was 43. The Warriors had 43.
They're like, this will never fall.
This will never fall. Then the Nuggets one day later are like, we can top that. Dev, start us off, man. What is your big takeaway?
Denver might be the first team that has a toggling big three. They were playing without Jamal Murray in this game. I don't know if you guys noticed that by the score.
Didn't even mention it.
They were missing a guy that just came off of a 40-point performance. They still ran them out of the gym. While Jokic sets the table, Michael Porter Jr. eats. And he ate in this game. I mean, Jokic, he had a triple-double. What is it, fourth fastest of all time? And then Michael Porter Jr. goes and gets 30 points in the game. He looks damn near flawless in the game. So it was just great to see Denver just execute in every single facet of the game.
This is an elite takeaway. You said some other stuff there at the end, but a revolving big three is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And accurate.
I mean, they've got a big four.
Yeah, but I think, Dev, is almost more appropriate to say a revolving big three because there's always one of them that's like,
steps up. Yeah.
Well, no, just you can't have a big four. Like I don't know that you can really have a big three most of the time, but you're right.
So you're saying what? We should trade Murray?
No, I'm just saying it's nice that you always have.
We always have.
You're like 3 of these 4 will play well. It's just,
yeah, it's beautiful.
Fine.
Oh, it's beautiful. Every Nugget's good. I mean, my God, the Denver Nuggets are like able to hit a level of play that is unseen in these parts for such a long time. Like they are, I mean, it's like this game was an absolute laugher the entire time. I cannot believe how badly they destroyed the Minnesota Timberwolves, featuring defensive player of the year back-to-back several years in a row, Rudy Gobert, who just got absolutely clowned. I mean, everything they tried worked. It was insane. Like there was just the Timberwolves had absolutely no answer. I mean, I think a lot of it is just that they got punched so hard to start off with. They were like, "Oh my God, like this is going to be a wrap here." Like it's crazy because I mean, this is what it looks like when the Denver Nuggets match up against the Timberwolves when it's not on the second night of a back-to-back, having to travel across the country to play it. It's like you just want to see like good, honest basketball. 2 teams suiting up that are actually prepared to play, ready to play, and like that's what that looks like, man.
We got one of my favorite follows on Twitter, and it's really been tested in recent years. But Miles Brown, I think he's hilarious. He's hilarious, but he's also very insightful. I just think he's a very smart guy. Big Minnesota Timberwolves guy. I think he's from Minnesota, and he hates Jokic, and it's really tough because I loved this guy for many years, and he's turned on Jokic. He's one of these guys that's turned on him. But I had this thing out there where he's always hating on the Nuggets, like, oh, frauds, this, that. And then he one day had this one out there. He's like, I swear every time, I don't watch the Nuggets very often, but every time they're terrible. And I kept thinking, well, he watches them against the Timberwolves. Yeah. And they're always on the second night of a back-to-back. Like, and then we saw, of course, Dane, our good friend Dane Moore was in studio yesterday, and he was saying the same thing. Like, I don't know, I've seen them match up. I just think they match up. And we watch the Nuggets all the time.
Right.
We know what their best punch looks like, and it's like as good as anyone's. I believe that firmly. The Nuggets' best punch is as good as anyone's in the NBA, if not better. I actually think it might be better than anyone's. But we've seen it. And other teams, if you just catch the Nuggets 4 or 5 times, you don't see it. And it's like, hey, man, I get it. This is what the Nuggets actually are. They've been this a lot over the last, 10 weeks or so. I mean, really since December, first week of December. They've looked like this more often than not, and it was great to get to see it on full display. My big takeaway, though, fellas.
Oh, boy.
I'm telling you, I love it. I'm sold on it. I know this to be the truth. Michael Porter Jr., when he is average, and Murray and Jokic are good, Nuggets win. They squeak one out. When he's bad, Nuggets can still win. But when he's good, when he makes shots, the Nuggets wreck you.
Yep.
Michael Porter Jr. is the ceiling raiser of the Denver Nuggets. The ceiling raiser. He had some things defensively I want to get back to later on. We'll talk defensively where he played really, really well, I thought, tonight, one-on-one defense. But when he's making his shots and when the Nuggets are finding him and getting him open looks, I just feel like every single time that happens, the Nuggets blow you out.
Yep.
Murray can go off. It could be a close game. Jokic could go off. When Porter goes off, I just swear he's the ultimate ceiling raiser. And tonight, 30 points on 11 of 15 shooting, 4 of 6 from 3, and he looked so confident out there.
It's true. It's because teams don't fully game plan for him.
You can't.
But it's like they oh, look at this king again.
Oh,
He did it.
DraftKings king of the game.
Unbelievable, dude.
Jokic had the 4th fastest triple-double of all time. Not king of the game.
No, dude. It's the ceiling raiser. Michael Ceiling Razor Jr. People are like, okay, we got to stop Jokic. We got to worry about Murray. Aaron Gordon's been, you got to worry about him on the inside. And then there's Michael Porter Jr. He might hit some shots. But you're right. Like, once he gets going, they're like, oh, no. Oh, no.
I think it's because when he gets going, like, his buckets are, like, demoralizing. Like, there's no game plan for it. He had a Porter quarter, and the game was over after that.
It was over.
As soon as the
One
Porter quarter happened, it was done because
Singular Porter quarter.
He had 19 points in the first quarter. The Timberwolves had 19 points in the first quarter. There was nothing that they could do about it. And on top of that, he's now, like, adding different pieces to his game. He's knocking down the 3 ball. So then you're like, okay, let's try to run him off of that. He's now knocking down the mid-range. He had a few dunks in this game. Like actual dunks. He had a oop, which he was not catching last.
I think he had 2
or
dunks
before
tonight.
that. He also had one that he just went down the lane and just punched it. And he's just adding like every single part of the game. So when he's hot, there's really not many other things that you could do, especially with a passer, a guy that can facilitate in the same way. And then also, this was a night that the ball was popping. When a guy had 30 points, the ball's still popping.
Yep.
Because he's playing
popping
within the flow of the offense. He's just letting the game come to him while also being aggressive. So this was like one of the best games of Michael Porter Jr.'s career.
I'll say the ball was popping maybe in part because he's making shots. And this is why I mean he's the ultimate ceiling raiser. The Nuggets offense is Jokic first, Murray Jokic second, and then like everyone else just continuity third. It's never really going to Porter. And when the ball just finds Porter, when it finds him and he knocks down a couple shots, the gravity of the defense just gets sucked so far over into like, we can't let this guy go off. I think he's like Klay Thompson, obviously, for the Nuggets. We've compared him there a lot, but Steph Curry can have big games and tight, it can be tied, and you can have other guys. But Klay sometimes when he gets on those runs where it's like 6, 7, 8 threes, you're just like, man, what the hell's going on now? We're stopping Curry. We're stopping all this other stuff. That's just what it feels like with Michael Porter Jr. I'm so encouraged. In the pregame show, we talked about, we all said Jokic is playing great so far in February. Murray's playing great. I said Michael Porter, I'm watching him, and something looks like he's more comfortable than ever over the last 10 games or so. I just feel this momentum.
He's returned. we don't use that B word with BJ.
I mean, we joke about it. We might as well run with it. Let's be serious though. I do think that Michael Porter has been good all year.
Yeah.
Like very good.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like he has been. You're right. How do we do this?
He's returned.
I don't feel like he's returned. You're right. I don't think he returned though to his previous form until very recently. And tonight maybe a bit of a watershed night for that.
Yeah, he was incredible. He's absolutely returned. He is.
Do we need a return-o-meter?
Yeah, we need a return-o-meter for Michael Porter Jr.
Has he returned? Michael Porter Jr. has returned.
He is so returned, you guys.
So returned.
So stupid.
So everything about this.
We have so many words we can't say now.
Yeah, most of them come from my mouth. Is the worst part. But it's beautiful. I mean, again, just to reiterate, like last year. The year before, purgatory. We knew what this team could be. We know the high level talent that is possessed, the offensive like firepower, the offensive genius, the defensive capability, the length, the poise, anything and everything you want. Like the Denver Nuggets have it for you in that starting lineup. It's crazy that, yes, Jamal, and I don't know that MPJ would have gotten the opportunity to, I'm sure of it. He wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to shine like this if Jamal had played.
No question.
But it just shows you, like, they just have waves, like if Jamal Murray is not having a good night, like Michael Porter Jr. has shown to you with beyond a shadow of a doubt that he can be relied upon to be that second running mate for Nikola Jokic, like the one thing he needs to get us to the next level. And then the ceiling, as you mentioned, is gone even up. I mean, Jamal Murray scored 41 points last game. Didn't play.
Right.
And the Nuggets just absolutely decimated the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight.
But just think about the type of weapon that is. Jokic just had a monster game. You try to game plan for him. Jamal Murray has been going crazy. He now goes for 40 points. You have to game plan for him. that leaves a guy in Michael Porter Jr. that you're just like, let's, let him do that. And then he goes for 30 points. Denver could just, Aaron Gordon had.
I was gonna say,
games.
man, like on top of that, you have to game plan for Aaron Gordon's strength.
They could keep going, and on top of that, the ball is popping. So how do you don't game plan for extra passes? You don't game plan for unselfishness. You don't game plan for they're playing the right style of basketball that you can't game plan for, and it leaves these type of teams demoralized. Really, the Timberwolves had no chance in this game, and it was because of the way that they played. But at the same time, Michael Porter Jr., he's just such a ceiling raiser that when he gets hot, what can you do? Honestly.
Nothing.
And this was the second, I believe, 30-point game of the season for him. I think he had 31 earlier on. I really think, though, that we're going to see more of these. I don't know if they'll get to 30 just by the nature of he doesn't handle the ball enough, like the way that Denver plays. But I really do just feel like athletically, he's looking better than ever. He's starting just to move a lot quicker and different things. Even especially you see this defensively.
Yeah, his athleticism is returning.
His athleticism is definitely returning. But even his confidence, like, Dev, you know what it is. I mean, you guys have seen this. Where Porter, when he was young, would take some crazy shots, and he would make so many of them. Yep. And he just had this confidence to, like, I can take any shot, even bad ones. And I feel like he's really cut back on that. You can just tell he's trying so hard to only take good shots, only take good shots. But tonight when he got like a C shot, not a D, he didn't take any D's or F's, but he had a couple C minus.
Yeah, like see the ball go in.
And he was like, yeah, but I'm on fire, man. And I'm just saying that part of his game is so big for Denver. That threat where you never want to leave his hip because you're so afraid he has a quick trigger with it. That, to me, is what has been different over this last 10 games.
The three ball has returned. And in this game, we got to see, first off, I think he was even calm in this. If this is a closer game, he probably has 50 points. He probably has 40 points. But he decided to just stop shooting.
Yeah, 29 minutes. Yeah.
We also got to see that confidence. He took one shot in this game where he turned around in the middle of the shot. Like he just knew that it was going to go in and got back to half court.
Which we were seeing 2 years ago.
We used to see that. It's getting back to that point where they're about to start having fun. And you're going to see that joy, with them. We got to see it in this game. And those blowouts is when you typically see them. But the blowouts are starting to come a lot more often. Woo! They're starting to come. So we're seeing that joy. And it's magical.
Breckenridge Brewery is the official beer partner of DNVR. They have, of course, the new Mile High City Golden Ale. It's no coincidence, you guys, that they launched that beer right as the Nuggets went on this run.
Although, get a vanilla porter, Jr.
You know what? Thank you. I plugged the wrong beer tonight. Winter is the unofficial beer of the Vanilla Porter Jr. is the unofficial beer of Winter. I've called it.
The winter of my personal discontent is far from over. It's still the official beer.
It's still the official beer. That Vanilla Porter Jr. is so delicious. They've also, here, you can try it, by the way, here at the DNVR bar when you're here. A lot of people, we have Rakia now. I know a lot of people have been trying that. You also want to try the Vanilla Porter Jr. I should have got one tonight. After that first quarter, I should have just ordered a vanilla. Why didn't you remind me?
You should have gotten 19 after the first quarter.
I should have gotten 19 of them. Breckenridge Brew. If you want to find out where you can get that near you, breckbrew.com. Use that Breck Brew locator. You'll figure it out. Also, want to tell you about DraftKings Sportsbook, you guys. Super Bowl weekend is upon us. The biggest weekend of gambling. Do you have, what's your gambling strategy? Is it early in the morning? Is it the night before?
My gambling strategy is to go with whoever the best quarterback is.
God damn it. Why? Don't throw to Dev on this one. My gambling strategy is to...
But I'm saying in the morning you make the bets?
No, I go right before
you got to get close because you got to
learn who's in, who's out.
You're studying in a way.
Yeah.
And my studying consists of a bet that I really like. And then I go to Twitter and see how many other people like it and why they like it.
Okay. That's why you do it. So you search out to be the confirmation of what you're doing. DraftKings Sportsbook, this is the best weekend of the entire calendar year to bet. Super Bowl 57, they're an official partner. And they have that deal. If you're a first-time bettor, you bet $5 and you get $200 in bonus bets instantly. You can also make a same-game parlay. Lots to say. I'm going to probably make 20 bets on the Super Bowl. I won't even know what I'm going to be rooting for by the end of it. I'll bet it on every outcome.
Everybody listening, do not follow Adam's betting strategy.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code DNVR. New customers bet $5. You get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code DNVR. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. I'm not done talking about Michael Porter Jr. because his offense was incredible tonight. But what stood out to me, that run, 49-19, the 49 is going to stick out a lot because it is a massive number. One of the biggest first quarter numbers I'm sure we've seen all year. It might be the biggest one. I can look that up. But the 19 really stood out. And what stood out was the 32-2 run. 32-10 run is a good run. It's a great run. 32-15 is a great run. 32-2, you're locking up. And in that sequence, I saw Michael Porter, when I talk about his athleticism returning, where it's most encouraging to me is there was a lot of one-on-one defensive sequences where he's so long and so big that guys are like, I'm going to try him real quick. And if you don't beat him on that first jab, that first step, guys just pass the ball away. I saw a lot of that tonight. I thought his defense was very impressive tonight.
Yeah, he used that length, to just disrupt a lot of guys. But he's also, the effort is there. Like, Michael Porter Jr. is sweating, and I didn't see that a lot, before. He's trying to impact the game and in both ways. In this game, it was even crazier because he's impacting the game on defense while outscoring the opposing team by himself.
Right.
So it's like this guy he's everywhere on the court right now, and he's really just taking our hearts from us.
Man, I love when I get confirmation in the stats. Michael Porter tonight, when he was on the court, 153.1 offensive rating, 87.3 defensive rating. 87.3. Man, I'm not sure what's more impressive. I think it's the 153. I think
it is.
Oh my God.
I don't know, man. 87 is pretty close. You're right, but it's really close, man.
It's the that's the most blistering offensive offense I've ever seen, except for when it was done to us.
What's more shocking?
The defense is most shocking.
87.3 defensive rating, and he played 29 minutes. That's not that small of a sample size for a single game.
Unbelievable.
I'm telling you, his defense. Did it stand out to you at all tonight?
Yeah, I mean, basically everything. It was just like complete blanketing, complete domination. And yet the thing about that effort is that it was just kind of everybody, including Michael Porter Jr., which is not always something you can say. Like, there have been times in his career where it's like he's really stood out. He was thought of as a defensive liability in the playoffs. You can't play him, blah, 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 all this nonsense that we hear about. Nothing bothers me more when somebody makes a declaration about a player in their first 2 years about who they are and what they are. This was early on in Michael Porter Jr.'s career. He's like, they're hunting him. You can't, blah, blah, blah. He's not like a defensive lockdown, but he's a long guy. He's getting smarter. He's using his energy in the right ways. He's getting he's just positioning himself well. All of that comes from just reps, being on the floor. And it's just everything. It's all coming up Porter, baby. It's all coming up Porter.
All right, we'll get to Jokic, I suppose.
Boo.
All Nikola did tonight was set his second fastest triple-double of his career and the fourth fastest, we think, in NBA history. Of course, behind himself. Apparently Westbrook. Do you know who the other one was?
It's got to be Wilt. It's always Wilt.
It might have been Wilt.
Just guess it's Wilt.
But tonight he did it in the second quarter. He did it effortlessly. He did it hilariously. There was a lot of laughing Jokic highlights tonight where you're just kind of like, oh my God, this is hilarious. But he goes to the tune of 20 points, 12 rebounds, 16 assists. He gets a steal and a block just for good measure. And he goes 8 of 10 from the field. 0 of 1 from 3, so he did miss. One of his shots was a 3.
He did shoot a 3?
Yeah, he shot a 3 and missed it.
Oh, my God.
I know, what a bummer. But 8 of 10 from the field. You guys want some stats?
Please.
10 of the last 12 games, triple-double. 10 of the last 12 for Jokic. He's starting to get triple-doubles every time. And a lot of those triple-doubles are monster ones. They're like 15 assists, 14 assists, 13 assists. They're not like, oh, he eked it out. Like he kind of did. Oh, no, he didn't eke it out tonight. 12 rebounds, 16 assists. But here's the crazier part, Eric. He has not shot below 60% from the field. Forget 50. That's old news. He hasn't shot below 60%, I believe, since January 3rd. Over a month now.
What an efficiency merchant. It's disgusting behavior.
Honestly, man, he's so deep in his bag. I mean this. This is the most effortless it's ever looked for you.
Yeah. Yes. He has ascended to another plane. Like he's averaging a triple-double in a very true sense. It's not like he's skewing it. He just gets a triple-double every game.
I think he's well over now. I think he's 10.
He was already at 10.1 assists, and then he goes out and he has 16 assists in this game to just put him up even more. And also, I just believe that his New Year resolution was to just never miss because he's been efficient since the new year.
Yeah.
This is a game where there's times where it's like, he wanted to make a statement or he wanted to prove a point, and we would have a couple of years ago, that would have been all we talked about was him versus Gobert. Like that'd have been it. That is not even a thought anymore.
Not even a thought.
The guy doesn't even want to guard him as being like the best defender in the league at that position. Like that goes to show like how like the playing field is just not this. It's not fair for him. He's just he's so like a lead of a talent that he does not have to win the game by scoring 30 points, 40 points. He can do it with the boards. He could do it with assists. He could do it on the defensive end. He could he's playing the passing lanes. He did whatever he wanted in this game, and that's what we've been seeing from him lately. And I mean, they're winning. They're winning.
I think he's 11 assists over now. So he has 11. He can get 0 next game and still be averaging a triple-double.
I bet that doesn't happen.
I'm with you. I predict he will get much more than that.
Yeah, it's wild. Like he gets a triple-double every game. That he is averaging a triple-double. Like it's I mean, it's crazy because every season we go into, we do our preseason predictions, what's going to happen, and it's like, all right, like this surely getting his second MVP. This is clearly the cap to what Nikola Jokic can do. And then he just comes out and he just does something so ridiculous the next season. Like every year, he just keeps raising it. I can't even imagine where the ceiling for Nikola Jokic is. I can't imagine it.
Well, he had the best defensive rating on the team tonight at 85.5. He actually had a more impressive net rating than even Michael Porter because he had a 152.5 offensive rating, 85.5
What are we watching?
Rating. We're watching Wilt Chamberlain.
Dude, everyone.
This is what it looked like when Wilt Chamberlain played, apparently. But in all sincerity, man, the 16 assists tonight, the fact that he's now 11 over, when I say it's more effortless to him than ever, I do think a little bit of this is that he's better than ever. I think a little bit of it is that. But I think more of it than anything is that he's never been surrounded by so many players who are committed to playing his brand of basketball.
Yep, I agree.
And when you take Murray out, a guy who's perfectly suited to play Jokic ball, it has the best chemistry of anybody that's ever played with Jokic. You take him out, you still have 8 guys that all know exactly what to do when they're on the court with Jokic and execute it perfectly. And I just felt like him throwing these passes tonight was like, that's the most fun he can have. Honestly, I'll bet you that he would never admit it. I'll bet you this was one of those games where he's like, man, that was fun.
I was just going to say that. Like, if you look at just the team, you take in what Michael Porter Jr. has done this year, this is all guys that just want to just play the right brand of basketball. They're all role players.
Yep.
Michael Porter Jr. is knocking down the 3 ball, so he just, benefits in that way. This is just the most dangerous that Denver could be, is when everybody's knocking down shots. Everybody wants to play defense. Everybody's running because they know that they're going to be rewarded with extra pass. And Jokic is able to do that. He's in complete control, and not even only in the cerebral sense because, he's just the smartest player out there, but also he just knows what every situation looks like right now. He just knows, okay, I'm going to push the pace here. I'm going to slow down here. I'm going to get guys here. I already know what the defense is going to do. He's reading rotations. It's coming so easy for him that he doesn't have to try hard right now.
Yeah, dude. To understand how good Nikola Jokic is, he has made all-star level players role players, and they're accepting it happily.
Right.
They're not just your average NBA role player. Jamal Murray is an elite talent. Michael Porter Jr. is an elite talent. And they're both very happy to give the reins to Nikola Jokic, play the way that he wants to play, and obviously are rewarded greatly for it because playing the way that he wants to play rewards you. 44, a shot makes one person happy. 44 people were made happy.
It's so true. 44 people were made happy, or 2 people were happy 44 times, whichever way you want to splice it. And then we have to go to Aaron Gordon, who tonight I didn't even realize the stat line.
Yep.
24 points, 3 rebounds,
Unreal.
8 assists. So he gets 8 assists, which is a monster number for a power forward. Your power forward and center tonight combined for 24 assists. 24 assists is a great number for a team. Honestly, that's like an average number of assists for a game in a team. You got it between your power forward and center.
The Rockets have guaranteed never hit 24 assists.
The Rockets?
In a game this season.
I actually think they're one of the few teams that hit 40. So I think they're on this one, weirdly enough. They got Şengün, man, that guy. When they play fair. One out of every 20 games, they actually pass him the ball. He throws some dimes. But listen, it's 24 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. He did it all. He did it all tonight.
He did everything. He knocked down the 3-ball. He got his the chemistry between him and Yoke. He just found the ball. He just knew where to be for his dunks, and also he's trying to create off of the dribble, and that's a new part of his game. That just makes him that much harder to guard. He's already athletic, and that just separates him from everyone else. But he has the strength, and all of that was on display in this game. Also the defense to offense. He's been so good as an offensive player that we forgot that he's brought in for defense. You forget that that's what his bread and butter is, because he's been having these games where he's doing good on offense. He's having these games where he's knocking down the 3-ball. He's having these games where you have to defend him in different ways. And when all of the focus is on Michael Porter Jr., who had a quarter that just lost him the game, Jokic that's setting the table, and then this guy that's just eating up everything that you can, it's just a mismatch. They try to put Rudy Gobert on him. He's like, okay, I'll score on him too. What are we going to do here?
They were much better prepared for that, I thought, tonight.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, you're not throwing just random things at them anymore. Guys are on right now. So what are you going to do?
I cannot believe how dominant of a game it was, and how you could hide that dominant of a game into this game and not even have it be noted. Aaron Gordon, I was like, oh yeah, he had a pretty good hit. No, he had an incredible game, and you didn't even notice it because Porter was so amazing. Yeah. Jokic was so amazing. Everybody was just so good tonight that it just is. That is a banner game for Aaron Gordon, and I literally barely noticed. He came out, had 3 really tragic possessions. I was like, oh, maybe it's not Aaron Gordon's night. He throws the ball away, gets blocked at the rim by Rudy Gobert. He shoots an air ball the first possession. But no, just fits right in, just is available and open to catch passes directly dropped into his lap from Nikola Jokic right into the basket.
And throw his own.
He's
an underrated passer, honestly, that mold of player. People talk about Andrew Wiggins and how he's fit on there. Aaron Gordon's a really good passer for a bruiser. There's not many guys that have a combination of brute strength, dunk on you types, and then also just have the dimes, the ability to throw some dimes. I thought he was great in this game. And also he was great in a way that he wasn't really given a ton of touches. A lot of times it's there was some of the high-low, there was some of the transition, but tonight it just felt like he fit in around everybody else. The other guy I want to talk about is Ish Smith, just kind of quickly here.
Yeah, man.
Going to him with the start. He was a plus 26, I think, in the first quarter. The Nuggets didn't actually fully pull away until he came in at that spot, and then it was that's when that run happened.
Dude, that guy can play point guard. When he gets going, he does some crazy stuff sometimes. He gets a little out of control, but he's so fast that he can just drive the lane and then cause confusion, cause the defense to start to have to switch all over the place, kicks the ball out. He just gets people kind of turned around, and that speed is a factor. We've seen him very sparingly. We know that he can kill you. We've seen him do it to the Nuggets many times.
Right.
But that's the kind of thing you why you need a true point guard at points with this Denver Nuggets squad. You've got so many people that can do the right thing once they receive the ball, but getting the play going and putting pressure on the defense and getting them scrambled so it's not just everybody just manning up is important.
He's the fastest man alive.
He is the fastest man alive.
I just know it. He has speed that is just not regular at all. There's quick guys. Bones is a quick guy.
Yeah.
But then there's actual speed where he's blowing by guys and just trying to make things happen. It's wild to just know that Ish Smith does not play every single night, but every time that he plays, he's separating himself in different ways, or he's just doing things that you're okay, this is not horrible. They were missing their starting point guard. They had Bruce Brown go in. He gets hurt, and then they go to Ish Smith, and he just steps in right in as if first off, he's a vet, but it's as if they just they don't need a backup point guard. They could have them there. I don't want them to go with Ish Smith, but just having a guy like that on the team, it just gives you a new element.
It's interesting. Do you think that we are right ahead of the trade deadline, Bones going out very likely here in the next 48 hours. Do you think that a game like this, maybe we don't get a point guard back, but we have Ish. He's not going to play. It's still going to be Bruce, Jamal Stagger. But if we have to
me, this shows the Nuggets need to have somebody that is a point guard for that second unit. I hate being so reliant on somebody that's been in the league for so long. Like, just bodies are, you can't rely on them the older they get. But to me, it's like you see the difference between Bruce Brown trying to run something as a point guard, which is not his natural position. He could do it, but he doesn't do it like deftly. It's not like what he excels at. Like, I like Bruce off the ball much more. And so I would say, like, I want them to get a point guard. I want them to have that depth. Like, I don't like being the last guy on your bench that can play the position is in the game.
Right.
Right. Like, there's just things happen.
So if they got somebody, though, that was like, I mean, again, I'm just going to throw it out there because he was on the court tonight, but Jordan McLaughlin, a guy who's probably not better than Ish, equal to Ish, would that make you feel better? Just where you're like, hey, it's not like the plan is to play either of these guys, but now you have them in case.
Yeah, I mean, I want a backup. I want a point guard. I want like a point guard that can play point guard and can reliably get offenses going and started. Like, if it's not going to be Bones, okay, fine. Like,
but I'm just to make sure, I'm trying to make sure I'm clear.
Sure.
Here, that does play, or that is there in case you need him.
My preference would be to get a point guard that plays.
Okay.
For the second unit.
I'm kind of just don't think that's going to happen.
It's probably
honestly.
Not, I mean,
I just think it's hard to find.
I don't disagree. I mean, but a backup point guard is not that hard to find, is it?
We'll see. I mean, we'll find out, and we'll see how much the team values it. We'll talk a little bit more about that probably tomorrow. Some of the names we've heard have not been point guards, and so maybe that's not the Nuggets front office sees it a little bit differently, but interesting nonetheless. We have more players that I want to mention. This game has so many people, but we do have to take our next break, and I'll tell you guys about the Game Time app. Are you trying to get tickets to Nuggets game? How much fun was it being at the Nuggets games this last couple weeks, man?
Bro, it is. I mean, I come from a person that had season tickets, would go routinely to Nuggets games by myself.
Did we ruin that for you?
Yes. Going back, though, it was like a warm embrace. I was like, oh, my God, dude. I had a whole routine. I would get a slice of pizza, would get a beer, sometimes a soda, depending on how I felt, sit down, scream, you suck at the other team.
Right.
Cheer for our squad. It felt great.
Well, you don't have your season tickets anymore, but you could get very cheap tickets at the Game Time app. I'm telling you, it's damn near the only place you can get tickets to the Nuggets right now. Hottest show in town, hottest ticket in town, best show in town right now, most fun you can have in Denver right now. And if you're looking for last minute tickets, I highly encourage you to use that link that's in the description of the show that takes you to the Game Time app. You get floor seats at concerts as well. You get baseball season is not too far away. You get tickets for that. Anything you want. We want you to make Game Time your go-to app. They're our go-to partner. Make it your go-to app for us. If you love DNVR, then you're going to love Game Time. The best way to support us is by buying tickets through the link in the description. Join over 15 million people who have downloaded the Game Time app to score the best seats to all your favorite events. Also want to tell you guys want to know what I had for dinner this very night? It was illegal pizza. I won't even make you guess it. It's illegal pizza. One of my favorite places in all of Denver, a place that is truly Denver. Truly Denver, Illegal Pete's. Truly Colorado. They have it in their veins. Illegal Pete's, what did I go with tonight? I went with a burrito bowl.
Okay.
Put some queso over it.
Sure.
And then they have cilantro. It's an underrated thing, but
I love cilantro.
Oh, I love some cilantro. Are you kidding me? It's so delicious. Sprinkle that over the top. It's almost like it's like that's how you finish it off.
There's no one on earth I pity more than the people that cilantro tastes like soap to them.
I feel like they can get over that. I used to be allergic to dogs. Love dogs. Broke right through that allergy.
Yeah, dude. Move past.
Cilantro tastes like soap. Eat more of it. You'll get over it. I promise. I promise you. They've got 12 locations in Colorado and Arizona. They've also got a great happy hour, phenomenal happy hour, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. every single day. And they have those irresistible drinks, including a margarita. Stop by Illegal Pete's. All right. Any other players you want to talk about here? KCP was solid again. You almost don't even notice him sometimes but he's just there when you need him, does what he needs. I thought Bruce Brown, same thing. He tweaked an ankle, but did come back in the game, played 22 minutes. The only other guy I would say is Christian Brown, who to me,
looked great.
8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 4 of 5 shooting. That guy just continues to me like...
rock solid.
I'm not going to say funny, but we're almost at the point where I'm going to start internally laughing. I would never laugh at a person, but internally laughing when people say, I just don't know if they have enough defense. Like, are you going to trust a guy like Christian Brown in the playoffs? And I'm sitting here going, is he the best defender on the roster outside of KCP? He might be.
Yeah.
I trust that guy defensively. I just think he's that caliber defender.
He's definitely a floor raiser on that end of the floor. Like some of their best defensive games, he's in the game. He's bringing those, minutes. And that's as a rookie. That's a guy that's learning on the fly, but he just has all of the intangibles. He uses his body. He's very honest with how he plays defense. He's not biting for all of the pump fakes and the hoopla that you see with everyone else. And he just loves it. You could tell this is a guy that just studies the game in so many ways. He's definitely, I think he's one of the best defenders. I will say top three, for sure.
Okay.
And this year he's had more highlight plays than Aaron Gordon, so he really he might have to be there. And just having a guy like that now is in the rotation. You only get better. You're already first in the West. Your offense is vibing in a way it has not all year, and now your defense is getting better, and he's a big part of that.
Absolute embarrassment of riches. The Denver Nuggets. They're he looks great. Christian Braun looks great. He is not at all intimidated by the game, which is crazy. I guess there's something to staying in college, playing at the national championship, getting, these big hits of adrenaline and learning how to play through it. He just, like Dev says, he plays defense so honestly. He never goes for pump fakes.
Oh, it's so true.
He always, he's he'll strip the ball, but he won't reach.
This is such a great take.
I just love how smart he plays. And I love that he's just so unflappable. It's wild to me. He never looks even when things are going bad, which is rare, you don't see despair on his face. He's just all right. He's such a floor slapper. He's such a high effort guy all the time. And it's I love that he has taken the time. Now he's getting his moments. He's playing more. He's earned his spot. No one can complain that it was given to him unjustly. It's just man, everything, all the buttons being pushed are the right ones for the Denver Nuggets. It's just, I don't know. It's so beautiful to watch a plan like this to come together over so many years.
Calvin Booth's 3 moves this offseason were KCP, Bruce Brown, and Christian Brown. And honestly,
great.
You could poll all of Nuggets Nation, and all 3 of them would receive votes for best one. I think KCP is my choice. He's just been such a perfect fit.
Yeah.
But Christian Brown right now is projecting to be a player that the Nuggets are going to use. They're going to get maximum value out of him the entirety that he's here. And also, I imagine that they get he's just the type of player everybody wants. It reminds you of Herb Jones or something last year, where everyone's man, it'd be really nice to have that guy. Christian Brown, you're oh, he just doesn't make mistakes.
But would you trade? Do you want Herb Jones for Christian Brown? We're no,
hell no. Christian Brown can't make or Herb Jones can't make a shot right now. He is. You were talking though about how he doesn't take himself out of position. He's a counter striker.
Yeah,
not a strike. In boxing, a guy will a puncher will expose his chin because he's always attacking. He's always waiting for you to mess up, and then he just tags you. And that's how it is. That's how it is. Where he's not jumping for blocks, he's not reaching for steals. He's waiting till you put yourself in position to where he can do it without compromising.
It's so
himself.
Inspiring. He models his basketball game after my ping pong performance.
Is that how you are?
I wait for we rally a little bit. You pop it up a little too high. Right down your throat.
Is that a fact? Is that so true? Guys, friend of the show, Jake Coyne, just shared with me a stat. He's watching the show. He says, to your point about Michael Porter Jr. being a ceiling raiser, listen to this. 2 great stats for you. When Michael Porter Jr. makes 2 or more threes in a quarter, the Nuggets are 45-15 in those games. That's a 62 win pace. 45-15. 2 threes in a quarter. Think about that. It's not that much. That's just a little Porter quarter. When he has 25 points in the game, the Nuggets are 17-5, a 63 win pace.
Unbelievable.
Statistically, this is true. He is a ceiling raiser for the Denver Nuggets. And I think that the Nuggets, I've said this all along, I think they would do well to figure out how to get that ceiling out of him a little bit more, because I think it's been great. It's growing, and I want to see how this month goes. But I just think there's a way to I think these numbers are mostly real. There's some noise in them. But I think there's a way to say, how do we get him going? Is it almost better to get him going early because the defense starts to overreact, and now the paint's wide open because everybody's afraid? I don't know.
It's just tough. There's you can only have so many ceilings, man. Jamal Murray's hitting his ceiling. How many vaulted levels of a ceiling can we hit?
I know. I'm just saying. I just think it's a worthwhile investment. I think it's a worthwhile investment to try to get Porter going early, just because I know how teams overreact. I know how I overreact when I'm on the court and a guy hits a couple threes early, and you're like, all right, well, we got to give resources to that. We got to like everybody double up on the corner over there. Don't let that guy get open. And I think it'll pay dividends. We got some super chats to get to though. Why don't we start to hit some of these? We do have Harrison Wynn, Brendan Vogt at the arena. They should be joining us momentarily, but we got some here. Who wants to read them off?
Burn Max says, Nuggets to the Wolves. Meet the real us.
Oh, I like that.
I like that too.
The real us.
Oh, so many times, like the day after I've been out drinking or something, I've to come back and be like, meet the real me. I don't know what that was last night.
I feel like drunk Eric is the real Eric.
Oh, man. I don't.
Kidding, I don't either.
S. Nelson says, LOL.
Who do you think he was laughing at? Us?
The timing is just...
With us? At us?
I don't think he
The
thought
Nuggets,
about
the
this
Wolves?
one. This is certainly
Doesn't
his
matter.
first one.
Doesn't
His
matter
first
at all.
Super chat doesn't actually
Thank
matter.
you for that one.
Thank
I
you,
love
though.
that one. I love that one. Donnie says, if I was Bones, I would seriously reconsider the trade request.
I made the joke today that the Bones was the LeBron tweet. Maybe it's me. Bones might be feeling a little bit of that. They've rolled. Like, he sat 4 games. One of them nobody played. But in those other 3, Nuggets have smacked. I mean, they've been absolutely dominant.
For sure.
But at the same time, I think he's...
Is it necessarily a trade request?
Yeah, Chris Haynes reported that he had requested. He requested a trade. What else we got?
All right. Eli D says, this game made me giggle. Maybe that was what the LOL was in reference to.
Maybe.
The game itself.
Yeah, could be.
Michael says, seeing Bones up supporting teammates and laughing on the bench really makes the potential trade so much more harder to take. I mean, this is my point, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens, man. I mean, honestly, like I said in the pregame show, if he doesn't get traded, I will feel good about the team's chances to like not be distracted, to just say, hey, work your way back. There's going to be an injury. There's going to be something else. Do what Christian Brown did. Remember Christian Brown played some games and all of a sudden we're like, he's surely in the rotation now. Yeah. Then he got pulled and we're like, how? Maybe Bones has a similar thing where it's like, you know, he gets another...
looking for minutes for Bones Highland.
Yeah, I've got to look for minutes. I got to find minutes, and maybe he gets another opportunity, and we know he's talented enough. So there's reason. I think there's reason to hold out hope, even if I think that hope is not likely, but it's possible.
We'll see what happens. Sam says, Jeff Green, the only non-garbage time player in the negative. Let's go. Almost all the Nuggets are good.
He was actually sneaky negative tonight,
too. Man.
Those were like real minutes.
Nothing sneaky about it.
There's nothing worse than seeing plus 43, plus 32, plus 40, and then he's a minus 5, and they're on the same team.
The math literally does not work out. I ran the numbers 4 times.
It's so true.
Alejandro says, hello there, Wolves fans and writers who want us in the first round. Quick question. Do you still want us? Every Nugget is good. Championship material. Let's go.
Dude, look, man, I'm glad that we had Wolves fans in the chat and in the comments. Like, it's fun. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, it's just sports, you know. But it was kind of funny to read these comments of like, what are you guys talking about, man? Come on.
I know.
Come on. You seriously?
Come on.
Come on.
All right, Brad says.
It's like, if you guys, they're new to Gobert, Timberwolves fans. They haven't been like following, like, they're like, oh, you got Gobert gives Jokic a hard time. Like, guys, Jokic solved Gobert like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Gobert,
he gives Gobert. What you think is Gobert gives Cat a hard time, especially when they're on the same team.
When they're on the same team, he gives them a real hard time.
Remember when Gobert complained that Jokic shouldn't be in the All-Star game ahead of him? Yeah, me neither.
I actually don't remember that.
Remember when he cried because he didn't get in?
Do you remember when he scored 0 points?
That was tonight,
in the game?
That was tonight.
The hell are
He
we
scored
doing here?
0 points?
0.
Yeah. I mean, he was only 0 of 2, to be fair.
Is that fair?
Well,
how much does he get paid?
Is it fair that he shot 2
You
points?
could go in an NBA game
they
right
lost
now
by
and
4?
score 0. I promise you.
I'm telling you,
I promise.
Gobert is like he's like Theon Greyjoy in Game of Thrones, where you don't necessarily like him, but then you feel bad for
neutered.
him. Yeah, that's how Gobert is. I hate him, and yet I somehow hate him less than everyone else, and I actually feel bad.
That's
about it.
wild. You've been leading the
dude. He's Reek now. I'm kind of like, wow, guys,
Reek.
let's let him go down. To
Yeah,
pasture.
you're like just it's just
like,
leave
wow.
poor Reek alone, guys.
Yeah.
All right, Ben says Green is cooked. Should we trade him for Mozgov? I hear Runa Basket is shopping for him. Wasn't a good night for Jeff. We'll say that. All right, Brad. What does Brad have
Jeff's
to say?
still a vibes guy, man. Come on.
He's got moderate vibes. Okay. Brad says more impressed with MPJ's D than his O. All around.
I mean, honestly, man, it stood out to me a lot today. I think I'm more impressed though with the fact that he didn't miss any of the shots he took tonight, but I'm also impressed with his defense.
Danny K says terrible officiating tonight. How could you possibly notice that? We clearly mercy ruled the Timber Pups in the first, and it was a blatant no call. Completely unacceptable. I can't believe I called you out and didn't finish reading. You're right. It was bad officiating to not call that game off and send everyone home. Nugs fan 3 says, "Let's go Nuggets! Best game I've ever been to. Shout out to Vogt. Oh, I was Eric in section 130. Also, shout out to DraftKings. I'm up $115.
Yes.
Tell
us what you hit on. I want to know what you hit on in this game.
But also, you're up 115. You just gave us 5. You're up 110.
Let's go.
110.01.
It's like me at the Golden Gate Casino.
Yeah, totally.
I'm up $200, but I've lost it all to drinks and tips.
Tyler says, fire up the take machine. Kristen Brown is better than Herb Jones. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, fire it up, baby.
Dude, we've been ready to fire that bad boy.
We got to
up.
trade for Caruso so he could be Brown's understudy.
Holy smokes. 5555-ish says, this game would have been so much fun on national TV. Another great win down. Only 12 more great wins till 50 great wins in the Mike West.
Oh, man, he's talking about great wins now. I remember it was bad wins.
They used to be bad
now
wins.
It's
Great wins.
Things have changed.
I love that he watched this game and was like, you know who would have loved this? Non-Nuggets fans. They would have loved this. Up 30 at the first quarter.
Literally the worst game ever to watch. Can you imagine? They bumped it for LeBron, who set the record tonight. Congratulations. But this would have been a bad game for national TV. Other than we would have just been like, see?
Told you.
Homie. Oh, Nicholas says, I wish Colin Gillespie didn't break his leg. He looked good in preseason. Well, in Summer League. I agree. He did. He looked great. He was Chris Paul of the Summer League.
He really was.
And the homie Gordon coming in saying, my Nuggets family, our team isn't pretty good. It's great, and it's getting better. And great teams sometimes humiliate average teams. We're finally to the other side of the Sandlot fight, and it feels damn good. You're right.
Damn good.
You know what he's talking about? He's talking about from being just a schoolmate to a bully. We're the bullies now.
We're the bullies?
We're going around the Sandlot, pushing down weaker teams, taking their stuff.
We're taking the lunch money?
It feels amazing. I've never been on this side of this. It feels incredible. I've wasted my life.
Pins and Aces, the official golf apparel partner of DNVR. We love our Pins and Aces gear. In fact, our guys right now, Big Drive Energy, Spence and Mitch, the brothers, the golf pros, the golf bros, they are out right now following. I love this. This is my favorite name in all of sports. The Waste Management.
The Waste Management, yeah.
The Waste Management. The unofficial or official start of golf season. They're down there in Arizona right now covering that. And you know what they wear exclusively? Pins and Aces.
Yeah, and DNVR stuff.
Well, sometimes they do. When they want to dress down a little.
Oh, you son of
Pins
a
and Aces,
biscuit.
they make amazing polos, hats, golf bags, and even that favorite beer sleeve that holds not 1, not 2, not 3, but 7 beers.
Yo, they've definitely got 3 of those sleeves. They're packing 21 beers to watch. Yes.
You're right. They do probably take a lot. Check out pinsandaces.com. Use promo code DNVR to receive 50% off your first order. Get free shipping at pinsandaces.com. Did another one come in, Kale?
Yeah, we got after the buzzer. Let's see it. Dylan says, I really wish I could see y'all's reaction to the NBA and TNT stopping the OKC LA game with 10 seconds left in the third. A full ceremony for LeBron breaking the scoring record. I'm glad we're not watching that.
I'm watching that. And I watched it. It was insane. He gave a speech. No, I'm not lying. They brought everybody from, like, they were on the court as if they just won the finals. Like all the cameras, all of his friends.
Oh my God!
Everybody.
How much are they losing by? Only 5?
Yeah.
Just so
they're down 7.
If you guys were wondering why Dev was a little quiet, is because he's literally watching another show.
Listen, you only get to see the GOAT break the record one time in life. You thought I was going to miss it to talk about a beating like that? I had to see this happen,
I didn't say one way or the other. I'm just explaining. I'm taking everyone behind
I'm telling
the
you though, in all seriousness, this was the super chat. I really hope that we get a repeat of LeBron from 4 years ago when they had Lonzo and those guys. Remember, he got an injury for real, and they lost all the games, and they were going to miss the playoffs. And LeBron embellished, I'll say, an injury. Like they said it was 2 weeks. They went like 0-10 over those 2 weeks, and they were out of the playoffs. And he's like, I'm not coming back. I kind of hope that happens.
Dude, it would have been incredible if he came out, did the whole thing, 10 seconds left, gave the speech, and then retired. In the third quarter.
And that's it.
Drops the
LeBron
mic.
out.
LeBron out. Walks.
Everybody's like, wait, what? We're at this game, man. We're only down 6. He's like, no, you down 6. I'm out of here.
He's like, and make sure y'all see Space Jam 3 in theaters this summer. Clank.
Or maybe just gets traded or something. Like he broke the record as a Laker. Kareem comes out and hugs him, and then that he's moved on. Do we want to do a quick around the association? I know Vogt is calling in here any moment. By the way, that game that they're playing, a very important one. Right now, they have the same record. Actually, no.
Oh, you're getting a super chip.
The Lakers are a half game behind the Thunder. If they lose this one, they move a game and a half below the Thunder for the 12 seed. They're currently the 13 seed. They would get bumped even further. It's actually, I know it's big that LeBron broke this record, but the game is super big for the Lakers, man.
I don't think this is their year. Even if they make it into the playoffs, if they make it into if they find their way into the play-in, I don't think they've got what it takes this year.
Yeah, well, I think you might be right about that. A little around the association.
One last super chat came in.
From Dylan. This is the start of a dynasty. Let's go, Nuggets.
That's how we pass championship and go straight to dynasty.
Yeah, F it right now. Who cares? Who cares?
All right, so first game up, we have the Knicks beat the Orlando Magic, Battle of the East. Low scoring game, 102-98. In this game, the standouts were Jalen Brunson. He led all scorers with 25 points in the game. He's not that bad. Like he's starting to look like he.
Dude, they were saying he's the best pickup of the offseason. We got KCP. Think about that.
Bol, by the way, in 14 minutes, 0 of 1. Isn't it wild that he took one shot?
Yeah, because what is he doing out there? He's just running around. Because that's the guy that you got to get the ball, put it in his hands. Julius Randle had 22 points and 14 rebounds in this game.
Yeah,
another side, Gary Harris did score. He did start. Only 3 points, 1 of 3. So the two Denver guys, they're tanking over there, I guess. Not trying.
Suns might be back.
And just to be clear, Dev's not watching these games as he reports it to you. He's reading the box score.
Yeah, exactly. Suns, they actually might be back. This is a tough one to try to go with. They beat the Brooklyn Nets.
Second night of a back-to-back.
116-112. Second night of a back-to-back. No KD, no Kyrie anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's just... no Spencer Dinwiddie, we should say that. No Spencer Dinwiddie. He didn't check in yet.
Yeah, so, DeAndre Ayton, he has a monster game. 35 points, 15 rebounds, 14 of 18 from the
Suns
field.
fans are like, sweet, dude, trade value just went up. They hate that dude. Oh, yeah, we might be able to trade him now for Yusuf Nurkic.
He got them out of an embarrassing loss. Devin Booker came back. He had 19 points in this game.
Was a -3 too.
Yeah, just took a ton of shots. On the other side of things, do you know who is a bucket in every sense of the word?
Cameron Thomas.
Cameron Thomas is a bucket. 43 points in this game. I think it's like 3 straight 40-point games or something like that.
Dude, the most hilarious thing is that he was on their summer league squad. We saw him play like
he was a bucket then, but he was shot
but he was
time.
like a mega bucket on the summer. But we were like, man, can you imagine being on the summer league team with Cam Thomas?
You read the roster, you're like, I'm not getting the ball. By the way, you want to know what's crazy about tonight? He was only 11 of 23 shooting, 18 of 20 from the foul line. He got to the line 20 times.
Because you can't stop him. You could not slow him down. That man is going to shoot till his hands fall off. Don't care.
Joel Thomas.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, wild. Pelicans?
The Pelicans beat the Atlanta Hawks. I was a little shocked about this one. 116-107. In this game, Brandon Ingram had 30 points. He's starting to look like himself. CJ McCollum had 21 points to accompany him. On the other side of things, It gave me the same thing twice. On the other side of things, it was Trae Young. He has 16 points, 16 assists. He was a minus 13 in the game.
I love it. We're like, that's so weak. Yoke's 18 and 16.
Yeah.
He goes 16 and 16. But
He's a plus 43 also.
That's true.
Bogdanovich had 22 points to lead their scoring. Things are not that well in Atlanta. And DeJounte Murray, I used to think he was like super, super good. I think he's still good, but I just thought he was going to be a guy that changed things around for them. I thought that they was going to be like one of the better teams in the East. I was wrong.
Do the last one real quick. Actually, I'll do it real quick. Memphis does finally get a win. They've been on a little bit of a slide. They win 104-89 against the Chicago Bulls, who, by the way, are horrible. But they do get that, and they get 34 points out of Ja Morant, 7 assists as well. So good for them that they got a win. I was starting to worry.
Hey, you guys.
Good job.
Great job.
All right, let's bring in Brendan Vogt, who's live from Ball Arena. Watch this ass whooping up close and personal. Vogt, was it as fun for you as it was for us?
Oh, I would think so. I don't know how fun it was for you, but I think everyone in the arena was watching as good as it gets, as good as I've seen in my 5 years here covering the Nuggets. That plus 30, boys, is the biggest point differential in any quarter in team history. So
is that true? Holy cow.
It is true. So that is it. The eye test matched the numbers here, fellas. It was as dominant for Denver as it gets tonight. And by the third quarter, there were thousands of people sitting on their hands here, not really sure. Like, do we just go home now? But it was fun. It was fun.
Was it a party, though, in that first half? Like, was the crowd into it? Was it a good crowd?
It was a great crowd. It was a great crowd, as so many have been this year. And, I mean, it was a Porter quarter, right? Like, almost right away. Actually, he was a little quiet to start. Jokic was in attack mode, somewhat ironic given how the rest of the game went for him. But once Porter started, you guys know what it's like. When Porter hits a big three, when the team's on a run, like, I don't know, 32-2 or something like that, it gets electric in here real fast.
That was fun.
You guys want to hear from Michael Malone?
Please.
Why not?
He thought it was a hell of a win. I concur.
Hell yeah.
One of the first specific points he made, though, MPJ was phenomenal all the way around, he said. His points, his defense, his rebounding, he had high praise for him. As you can imagine, he was pretty stoked on the NBA high in assists, 44 assists in the win, which got them their season high in points without Jamal Murray. He said it was a night when we were firing on all cylinders, and it's a lot of fun to watch. He was asked about the assists and the chemistry, and he said, I don't know how it could be much higher. It's really high right now, the team chemistry, that is. On the Wolves matchup, if there was anything extra, he said, well, yeah, we didn't want to be 1-3 against them. And he did acknowledge the quiet part. He was like, look, I think the rest advantage had a lot to do with those losses. So it was good. It was good to get to play them with rest and show them what they could do. And I think the Wolves got the message. Malone pointed out the Nuggets have the 5th best defense at home. He said, now the challenge is to figure out how to have something better than the 25th on the road.
Yep.
Fair enough.
It's true, man.
On Porter, he says the efficiency, but also the patience. He said he was really patient on offense tonight. He mentioned there was one where he took where Jokic had a screen for him, and Porter was really patient and kind of curled around and took it to the rim. And it's true. It wasn't just that Porter scored a lot tonight. Porter looked in control of his offense in a way that's, I would say, newfound, or at least, something he's kind of experimenting with lately, right? Like being more than just a jump shooter, and it looked good. Also, Michael was a plus 43 in this game.
I noticed that too.
He said he's got a great smile, and when I told him that he was a plus 43, that smile was ear to ear.
Oh, man.
And then he said, it's funny, though, some of the veterans and our coaches were joking with the younger guys, the one-year guys. Don't get used to this shit. This is not how NBA life goes for most people all the time. But that's how it's going right now for the young players in Denver. He had a lot to say, again, about his vets. Special shout-out for DeAndre Jordan, Jeff, and Ish, who he said have all been great voices. And I asked, in past years, you've said that this team is quiet. Is it more talkative this year? And he said yes. He said in San Diego, they challenged themselves. Are they going to have those tough conversations, hold themselves accountable? And right now, it's a more talkative group than years past. Oh, and final note from Malone. Guess who got the defensive player of the game, Shane?
Michael Porter Jr.
Good guess. No, Ish Smith. I don't know.
I swear to God, that's the weirdest award that anybody does.
Yeah, what are the qualifications?
This is the make you feel good award.
We need to audit
That's
this.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's I throw you a little bone here award.
This is like my daughter's soccer team, where like one different kid gets to hold the trophy every week, and then it was Diane.
They should be called the Denver participation of the game.
Orange slices. Let's pivot. Let's change our whole brand right now. Okay. We talked with Michael Porter Jr.
Hell yeah.
And I asked him about the little floater, which I thought he first busted out in that last Wolves game, went to it a few times tonight, especially in the second half. And he said, yeah, I have been working on that. He says, been watching Jokic, he said Jokic has some touch from the floater range. I concur. But he said to himself, Jokic has touch and he's taller than everyone. And that's a nice in-between shot he uses, right, in between the perimeter and the rim. And he's been thinking to himself, hey, I can do that too. I have that touch. So it is a concerted effort from him right now. That's one tool in his bag to take advantage of mismatches. And it's a shot that he has been working on. I thought that was pretty cool. He was asked about the plus 43, and he smiled again. And he said, I don't know if I've ever seen that on paper. But then he stopped himself, and he said, the thing is, it's a team stat. Like, that has not, he said, I was playing well, but it's plus 43 because everyone was playing well. And that was the thing about tonight. It was just that the whole team was playing so well. He loves playing with Ish Smith. He says, Ish really be looking for me. I like playing with him. He seems to know where I like the ball naturally. And then on the transition offense where Denver is outrageous. He said, well, first of all, it starts with Aaron. If he has a mismatch, he's getting down early, and then he's just sitting down in the post. And then from there, me and KCP like to find the corners, and then you have Jokic, who is getting rebounds and pushing, and obviously, this is me speaking, the best in the game at that. And he said, that's our identity. Defend, rebound, and run. I hope someone plays that audio for Michael Malone, because Michael Porter Jr. just said that the identity is to defend. And finally, he was asked about Bones. If this is the last time he gets to play with Bones, does he have a message for him? And he said, it's really heartbreaking for me to see him leave. He's such a good player, and we have a mutual appreciation for each other. And he's such a good dude. I think he'll blossom into a star, and we'll be looking at it like, damn. And he says, but that's just the NBA. He said, we've had a lot of good players come through, like Jeremy Grant, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, where we have our offense, and we have guys that fit into it in certain ways, and that's just the NBA. But he says he has no doubt that Bones will blossom into a star, and he's rooting for him wherever he goes.
I mean, I like it, man. I like it. I'm glad to hear. Porter had some wisdom, man. He really does have some wisdom lately.
With age comes wisdom.
And I love to see it. What a great game from him. What a great game from the Denver Nuggets. And what a great call-in from you, Vogt.
Oh, dude.
What a treat.
I always be looking for you to come in and do these things.
That's what I'm always saying to you, man. What a treat, fellas. Have a good one.
Later, buddy.
Harrison should use Vogt's computer.
I know. Well, he was having a hard time getting logged in, and then all of a sudden it worked great. Hit that outro music. We do have a couple more super chats here, but we can let that outro music kind of wash over us.
Let's coalesce, yeah. The two together. All right. Joseph says, Bones for Schroeder? Lakers need offense.
I'm telling you, I can't send him to the Lakers.
Can't do it?
I just can't do it. I'm sorry.
Rough.
I'm sorry. I like him too much.
Laser Luke Chich says, hi, guys. What do you think about trading for Kelly Olynyk for Bones?
I mean,
will it work money-wise? Will with Jeff, for example? Shout out to Eric from California. Let's go. I bet that's a different Eric.
I like how you get the shout
shouted out his homie.
Like, I'm thinking that he's from California shouting me out, but I bet it's an Eric that lives in California that he's shouting out. But I'm taking it anyway. Thanks, bro.
Either way, since he shouted you out, does it work financially, Olynyk for Bones? He's asking you specifically.
Let me fire up the trade machine.
What does it do for Denver's salary cap, going forward?
Well, it doesn't look good.
Really?
I know that we're already in the luxury tax. That's not great. So I don't think that they.
It's not great. It is great. You're good.
Well, I know, but as far as what he's specifically asking about, I don't know what the salaries are.
How much to carry the two? And
how much does Kelly Olynyk make?
You'd have to look it up. But go ahead.
Do you know?
Look it up right here. They can't. I don't think they can get Bones for Kelly. Kelly Olynyk is like really good.
I know. Yeah, he is pretty.
You know what I mean? Like I don't. That's not like a throwaway. Like they're eager to get rid of Kelly Olynyk.
No.
He makes $12 million a year. He's got another year on his deal. It's a descending deal, though. It's actually less.
Bones, I think, makes $1.1 million.
It's not going to work.
That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Nico says, it feels like Joker has gone up another level, even another level. He's unlocked every teammate's mind.
Oh, I
Everyone
love this
is
take.
making Joker passes, seeing the lanes.
I love this because I will agree, but I do want to halt a little bit and just say that these guys deserve credit, man. Like, it's almost a little uncomfortable when you're like, Jokic is so good. He gave Aaron Gordon had 7 assists tonight. It's like, okay, Aaron Gordon's a good passer. KCP, there's just, I think, more buy-in than ever before.
But what he's saying, and I actually agree with this, is that players are like, I didn't even know you could do that. Like, they're like, you can make a weird wraparound pass like that. You can like look for opponent or your teammate to be cutting the lane. Like, you see crazy passes. You're like, dude, there's no way Aaron Gordon makes that pass.
Here's how I know this is true. I throw crazier passes since learning about yoga. Like, just me, and I run them. Like, you know what? I didn't know I could do this. What am I trying? Guess what? It's a great pass.
It's like when the first human being broke the 4-minute mile, then it was...
You're like, I didn't know we could do that.
We didn't know we could do that.
I think it's more like when Steph Curry started pulling up from 30, 40 feet, and then people were like, that's not a bad shot.
Yeah, you can do that.
Practice it. But in all sincerity, I do credit Jokic a lot with that, but I do think that this is what you get when you have a veteran team, and not just a veteran team, but a veteran team with buy-in. And the vets they brought in, KCP, Brown, Jeff Green, even, like, these guys understand it. But the vets that Denver has grown, including and especially Michael Porter Jr. and even Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon wasn't this 2 years ago, but they have grown into these players. And I think that's what you're seeing is this, what word do you keep using? They coalesce into a team that now just plays ball is popping basketball on default setting. They don't have to hit that switch. The default setting right now is ball is popping. You love to see it. What a fun show.
What a fun show.
Fun time hanging out with you guys.
And in the most appropriate news of the night, LeBron James breaks the record, then the Lakers lose.
Man, pivotal game to the freaking Oklahoma City Thunder. One team came in tonight with into the season with championship aspirations. Another trying to tank for Wemby. And somehow the Lakers are behind them. I love it. What a great night. Great night all around. Thank you all for joining and hanging out with us. Shouts to super producer Kale, always on the ones and twos behind the scene. Everybody, hit that like button on the way out. We'll see you tomorrow.
Let's go.